Welcome to Coffee in the Barn, where every cup tells a story. With a rotating lineup of hosts, we invite you to join us as we explore the diverse challenges and triumphs of modern life and the heart of agriculture. From the fields to the classroom, from innovators to everyday visionaries, each episode brings a fresh perspective and a new voice. So brew yourself a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's uncover the stories that shape our lives, our farms, and our communities.
We are live here from Omaha, Nebraska. It's the family reunion for swine nutritionists. So we thought with Coffee in the Barn, why not record a video? And we're doing it in Hilton style. This is kind of a theme for Morgan and I, you know, meeting up in our Hilton hotel room.
Iowa pork, Midwest.
Wherever. Now, I would say at Iowa pork. I didn't stay at the Hilton, but you did. But
that's okay.
But I do like Hiltons as well. But as Morgan said, it's a little bougie hotel.
It's very nice.
Yep.
Very quiet.
Great atmosphere. Everybody was happy to be back in Omaha.
Nobody was happy to be in Wisconsin last year.
Except you.
Except me.
Except me.
Everyone complained about the airport. Parking.
The only issue I had with that was the distance to get to different places.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to eat around the Capitol and stuff, but
it didn't help that it's Madison in March.
Yeah.
It's kind of cold.
I mean, it was 60 down here yesterday. The sun was shining.
Most beautiful.
It was great weather.
Definitely can't say it wasn't. But the great thing about the Hilton is that the bar and the skywalk.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can just sit down there and catch everybody coming over, and I felt very difficult to talk to everybody. Like, somebody would say, I wanted to talk to you, but you kept talking to other people. And I'm like, if you know me, just interrupt me, because I'm literally trying to get around and talk to as many people as possible, and there's still people that I haven't been able to talk to.
I feel like it's hard, though, because there's so many sessions and breaks at different times, and it's like, I feel like you could even not see anybody.
Yeah.
Like, while you're here.
I mean, I guess the best hangout to try to grab people is really at the poster session.
Mm-hmm. Or afterwards, during the socials and when everything's done. But
super proud. I don't know if this is first, second year or what. We had coffee all day, except in the afternoons. But then we got snacks. They brought out the sweet stuff.
Yeah.
So
popcorn.
You know,
I didn't have any.
People were giving away coffee mugs. People were giving away water bottles for it. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I know. I could have brought my big mug, but I did not.
Me either.
So I didn't drink enough water this week. But I didn't drink a lot of beer either, so if you're wondering. So this is a big trip. I mean, you've traveled after the baby and being back from maternity leave.
I've been on the road for 5 days.
How do you feel about it?
I haven't traveled for 2 weeks, so I knew I was coming, that I was going to have some travel coming up. So it's okay. I like to get out of the house. It's nice to have a full night's sleep with no interruptions.
Yeah. And I'm assuming you still have to pump and bring all your gear?
Yep.
So how did you juggle that from convention center over here?
Oh, I just walked back. It's nice, the skybridge. I just walked back over here when I needed to take care of business, and then walked back and got my ice packs off at the front desk, and just my fridge is full.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just use mason jars, like the big ones, and then I just mix it all together.
Hey, somebody was asking me, could I take a water sample with a mason jar? And I said yes. Just
there's a lot you can do with a mason jar. They even make adapters to put on them to water your chickens.
It actually came up in conversation this week because I went to order water sample bottles on Amazon because we needed them in a hurry. So we had to get them labeled and shipped back out for collection by the end of the week. They wanted $90 for 20 30 or 16 ounce bottles. from Amazon.
Plastic or glass?
Plastic.
Wow.
But I said, no, we're just going to go to the Dollar Tree.
Sometimes you have to do that.
And I said, luckily I have an assistant now. I didn't have to go to the Dollar Tree. My assistant did, which I normally send my husband to.
My husband's on kid duty and chicken duty.
Yeah, how are the chickens doing?
They're good. We're getting 9 more in 3 weeks.
Cool.
The kids are excited. We have to tell the kid, our 4-year-old, that's what we do after work, is we go do chores.
Yeah, because they're at your mom and dad's, right?
Yeah, but I've made an ad-lib feeder that holds 50-pound bag, and then I have just like a jug of water or a 5-gallon bucket that I've put like little waters in. So for the most part, we just collect eggs, and they are very self-sufficient.
It's awesome.
So,
well, I think Morgan, I don't know if you mentioned it on a podcast or not, but this year you did your colors.
I did do my colors. I don't know if I did mention that. Yeah, I was. So, Crystal talked at the World Pork event last year. Elevate Women in Ag. And I was like, I love this concept. I hate picking out my clothes. I hate dressing myself. Besides jeans and a sweatshirt, I have no style. I usually ask my husband if these things match. Or my 4-year-old picks out my clothes.
I was going to say, how your daughter was better at picking out your clothes than
She's
you
good,
were.
but she likes the patterns and like bright colors. And I'm sometimes like, I know that really does not match. But yes, I've been toying about doing my colors for the last couple months. Well, probably last 6 months. And I just came back to work, had my 3rd baby, and I'm just like, I'm going to do this for me. And so I ended up there's the colors part, and then there's like a style part. And so I am like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to do both.
Do the whole thing, right?
Do the whole thing, get the most I can out of it. So I did the colors part, and I'm autumn is my colors. Found out that black is not my color. Dark brown is my color. So, as I'm sitting here wearing white and black.
Black, because that's what you got.
And white is not my color either. Oyster is... Oyster. It's like an off-white. But anyway, so I did that, and then I did the style part, and they looked at your body proportions and where, like, blazers should hit, where your dresses should hit. Found I'm actually very proportionate and long-legged, and I was like...
You're long-legged?
Apparently. And she's like, I was like, I thought that's like a short torso. And she's like, well, it's a nicer way of saying a short torso is saying you have long legs. And I was like, okay.
But you are kind of proportionate. I mean, you're not overly...
Well, I learned that your bust in traditional women's clothes, the way that they make them, is bust measurements are 2 inches smaller than waist measurements. So, like, if you have a 38 bust, if you're in proportion, you would have a 40-inch waist. And that's how they make women's clothes.
What's better than a great cup of coffee? A great coffee mug to match your personality while you listen to the next episode of Coffee in the Barn. At Buy Blackett, we've got mugs that'll make you laugh, smile, and show off your unique style, all while keeping your coffee warm. Whether you're into heartwarming messages or hilarious designs, there's something for everyone. Plus, every purchase supports Coffee in the Barn and helps us keep bringing you the content you love. So grab your next favorite mug today. Visit buyblackett.com/animistic and use the promo code animistic for exclusive deals. Let's type that out because there's 2 T's in this. So the website again is www.buyblackett.com/ANIMISTIC. Buy Blackett. Funny mugs, unique vibes, and you're supporting your favorite podcast.
Oh,
I didn't know. I learned that, and I was like, oh.
Somebody who sews, I
don't know.
No, stuff doesn't fit me right.
I got a full book that had all these different things in it, and she gave me like kind of like a portal on a website that showed me different styles and things. And I don't know, there's a lot to grasp around all of it, and I went through my entire closet, and they give you like a little fan with like 36 different colors that are all in your season. And so I went through my entire closet. I'd say 90% of it like fell within my colors because it's just like what I like. But there was a handful of things that I've just been holding on to that I just now I have permission to get rid of it. But I also thought it was nice. She was like, bring like 5 things you like, 5 things you don't like, and then 5 like questionable items. And so I packed an entire suitcase full of clothes and took them, and she was like, this doesn't fit you because it doesn't, or like doesn't feel right because it doesn't hit you where for your body style the best. And so we like went through a bunch of things, and yeah, it was good. I to say I enjoyed it.
Well, I may have to just give you my but you're not petite, so your arms are probably too long for my jacket. My olive green jacket, I don't think was in my color family.
Olive green is in my color family.
Because, I mean, Monday I wore my light pink jacket, light blue shirt, and everybody's like, oh, it looks so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Like, cool. And I get lots of compliments on that outfit. Blue pants, pink jacket. And then I wore this today, and you're like, oh, that looks really good. That must be your color. What you say? I was like, yeah, I think it is. So we just want to talk about color and style because obviously it is the year of color. We're starting to see some
more people just not wear black at conferences and be more authentic in like how they dress.
Yes. So I was pretty impressed on Monday when I walked over. I'm like, I am so glad I picked this pink jacket and blue pants because literally everybody was in black on Monday. And I'm like going, we got to brighten up. I'm going to give a shout out because I already sent her a LinkedIn message. I didn't want to interrupt her dinner meeting. She was with friends and they were speaking French, which I don't speak French. Aline Remus from Canada. Wow, she had a pink fuchsia jacket and matching lipstick. And you just walked over, and I couldn't talk to her because she was having a meeting. And that's how it is here. But I was just like, you just brighten this whole space. And like just owning it and being her and her curly hair. And I'm just like, you go, girl. I am so impressed. I also got to hang out with my friend Andreas Toloso. He looked sharp in a blue suit. I was like, this is style, right? But I was going to say, being authentic, but didn't you think some people maybe were a little too casual this year?
There was some, yes. Not so many jeans. I didn't see a lot. Well, I saw a couple people in jeans. But, I mean, I would say a majority of the people were all dressed up, but I did see some, well, now like the sweatpants slacks. I feel like that's a guy like style thing now. I don't know. I don't have any style, so I can't really say. I'm learning. I'm getting better, but yeah, there was a couple questionable things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We just kind of grew up Midwest. Like, if you're presenting, it's a suit.
Yeah, I did have to look at my pictures last year, though, and see what I was wearing last year, so I didn't wear the same exact thing this year. And last year I was in black and white, and I was like, maybe that's why I didn't have as much confidence while I was giving my presentation. And then this year, I got a lot of compliments on my presentation, and they were like, we could just tell that you were being super cheery, and you were using your hands, and you're being yourself, and I was like, maybe it's what I was wearing as well.
Maybe a full year into now podcasting, going to Elevate Women, getting your colors, like confidence, right? Wasn't that the whole point we started this?
Yeah, yes. I mean, full circle. That was one of my, when we got hooked up through the women
at
in
WFA.
Food and Egg. Yeah. What was that? Fall of 23? Yes. Fall of winter of 23.
Yeah.
And we started this whole podcast thing was just I wanted to build my confidence in public speaking and whatnot. And I know, all my coworkers were like, holy cow, from like last year to this year, it's uphill.
Well, and I think that's what practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah.
So my first experience, and I told this and everybody couldn't believe it. So I did an undergrad presentation, and so I was having dinner with Erica from the U of A. She came up for it, and she's like, I didn't win. Amy Petrie's group won. But I'm like, you did win because you did it, right? And it's experience. And, it takes confidence to do it. But I said, I literally was deathly ill my undergrad presentation. It used to not be research, so we had to do a literature review and write a paper and then a presentation.
Okay.
So I did chromium. Go figure, right? I'm a mineral person back then, Dr. Hill, and I did chromium. So I did a presentation on chromium, but I had a fever. I was really sick. My dad and my grandpa came out with me to watch me because they were super proud. I was literally had a fever up there, nervous as heck. And then Dr. Lee Southern was one of the judges, and he had to ask the questions. And they were so hard. I didn't know how to answer them. I didn't feel well. And so I used to get the nerves. Even as a professional, getting up on the stage, something about presenting at Midwest Animal Science, that triggered that memory. From the first one.
PTSD.
Yeah, a little PTSD probably. But it took me a really long time. I think it was when I did the women's symposium that after that, I was fine. I didn't get nervous anymore. And then I presented, I don't know if it was last year or a couple of years ago, my friend's stuff from South Africa.
I think it was last year.
Last year, yeah. And no big deal, even though I didn't do the research and didn't know it 100%. And it's like, I just came in my own. And it's so gratifying when you get there. Because many people say, well, you do a podcast. What do you mean you're scared to talk in front of people? Just something different. It's like, you can judge me, right? But you can't judge me like in person. But man, you get up there and give me a hard question or say your results are bullshit. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's something about it.
Well, I still get nervous when I'm a hand talker.
Me too. And then
So.
I would not have done well this year at Midwest because they were all podiums.
I did. I used my hands, even though I was behind a podium. I was using my hands quite a bit.
Yeah, but normally you have the option of being behind the podium or having like a lapel mic and a pointer.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've always been behind the podium.
Yeah, I'm a walker. You're a hands person. I'm a walker because I got to go find that face.
Oh. Yeah. I need to get better at moving. I have a presentation in a couple of weeks with a bunch of dealers and stuff. So we'll see how it's a lot of me talking for like 2 days.
Well, try to make
So it'll be good
interactive.
practice.
I mean,
yes.
This is what I also noticed. Like, I'm teaching swine lingo again, and I have Chantel, so it's like a co-led thing. Mm-hmm. And we're able to get the students to ask questions and be involved in the discussion. And I said, is it because how we formatted it, or is it because...
Is it virtual too?
It's virtual.
Oh. That's hard to get people to even interact on a virtual.
But we're sitting here talking, and so then they want to ask questions. Mm-hmm. And I go, I wonder... I'm really good at pushing the discussion to get people to want to interact because of podcasting. Oh. Because sometimes you get some interviewees that are just hard to like you want to pull something out of them. Pull it. Research is the same way.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that nugget that I want? And I would just say some of these presentations, I'd like to see people get better at pulling what the nugget is out of their research.
Yeah, I think I've been, when it comes to at least presenting our data and stuff, there's a lot of presentations that there's a lot of information on the slides. And it makes it hard, even if you're sitting up front or even in the back, to grasp the message from the slide and like understand what's going on. And so at least as my presentation experience has improved over the years, I've tried to just do like 4 bullet points max and more, not complete sentences, but just thought points and like high level, and sticking to like, here's the key takeaway message from this slide or this graph or whatever. Hit the high points and go into detail as needed type thing.
Yeah, I mean, there were some really good presentations, and I'm gonna be honest. So I did the reporter thing, and I recorded like the whole symposium, the Cargill Microbiome Symposium, because and reporters used to do this all the time. You can't remember anything people said, and I want to. So when we were on National Animal Nutrition Program, if we put on a symposium, we'd want to try to come out with a white paper of that symposium. Well, now since I have the transcripts from everybody, I can come out with a white paper and hopefully, and then you publish that, and I think that would be good. So I haven't told Cargill that, so if you're listening, I have a plan, Cargill. You get an email, but I don't know which will come first, the video out or the email out. But but I think I was talking to somebody about it, and actually recording that, knowing that I'll get the transcript, allowed me to be a better active listener.
Yeah, I'm a writer. I have to write everything down to remember things. And that, even through like college during lectures, I'm sitting there writing things as the professors are going through, even if I have the PowerPoints and stuff, there's key things that they say that are not on the PowerPoints. And I think that back then, by the time I got through my grad school, a lot of our lectures were recorded. So that was really nice, like prepping for tests and stuff. But I would agree with you. It's nice being able to go back and like listen to things, because I definitely don't grasp everything while I'm also trying to like write everything down like during presentations.
Yeah. And so now my notes, I still took a good page or 2 notes per presentation, but it was the key things that but I could also hear like listening to them, because they put up the microbiome graphs, which is a nightmare to try to understand, and then they still did it. I love you microbiome scientists, but you still did it. You put 10 graphs up that were these color charts. Not everybody's got good color eyesight, or just good eyesight in general, and I'm trying to follow along, and I'm like, I just like, I don't care,
You lost me.
So I tried to do better of like, what are you trying to say? And I think there's a better way we can actually present microbiome data to the novice or general audience. This is really all we need to look at. This is really what this is saying. This treatment was downregulated. This treatment was upregulated. But we have these shades of blue and the shades of red, and I'm going, well, I can see this is a darker red, and this is a darker blue, so there's obviously different.
Something going on.
But I still think we need to go a long ways of, because the microbiome is so darn important to understand. And I don't deny it. And same with gene expression, like the stuff we're learning, right? The modes of actions. But there's got to be a better way for us to present it to people who don't know. And I'm not knocking the presenters, because they present it how they know it.
Yep.
But I have to commend Cargill on this one, that they did a really good job. I was on the planning committee, and I was kind of harsh a little bit to say, let's not make it too much Cargill-y. And I think they were very successful in that. It's a shame that the 2 people who actually put it together, Caroline and Ishan was supposed to present. They were one of the layoffs from Cargill and didn't get to come. We had the same problem with the USDA. Yeah. And then I heard, so last week, emergency meeting, Crystal Loving can't come, and present in the Filio Symposium. That's on Wednesday. So we were like, okay, we'll do a recorded one. Yeah. And then I heard that they were allowed to come, or somebody was, but one of the ladies even had to pull her abstract.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yesterday one of the USDA presentations I caught yesterday was all recorded.
Yep.
Because they couldn't come.
And so there's a lot of that. I would say with all the layoffs that we've had, some of my good friends weren't here. It felt like a family reunion, but it wasn't because they weren't here.
One of my friends is getting her PhD at Iowa State, and the soybean board funded some of her research. And she's like, I'm graduating in 2 months and defending. And she's like, I go to the USDA office and like, I don't know what I'm going to get on like who's still here, who's in the office, like just to get anything done has been a struggle.
Yes. And I mean, there's just a lot of unknowns. I feel like the swine market's a little more optimistic feeling this winter than last year, but there's a lot of people nervous.
Yeah. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 months.
Some of my friends are like, well, I'm just glad I have a job. I'm like, but that's also sad. Like, if you're not happy in your job and you're saying, well, at least I have a job, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? And then you take these people job hunting, they're going to take the first one they get. Because I have friends, Jim Smith, Ben Bass. Why they can't get jobs, I don't get it. But, I mean, it's I don't know, difficult. Just want to give a shout out to the young career or early career
award recipients.
Yeah. John DeJong, and it was incredible.
We love that you brought your family.
Yes.
I was like, perks to your wife, rolling in with all 5 kids in the double stroller last night.
But he helped. I mean, it wasn't just her. He was actually had the older kids with him and stuff. I was like, thank you for showing up that way. Mm-hmm. It's so important to recognize your award as I consider you a friend, that your family also had to sacrifice for you to get that award.
Yeah.
And your family was part of it. And I think, thank you for showing up the way you did, John. Because, yes, you could not have been that early career success that he has been without a family.
Yeah.
And a great wife behind him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
The same with me. Like, I couldn't be doing this if it wasn't for my husband, because the afternoon news that I got yesterday, I was like, OMG. I'm glad I was here. But
I just got a phone call from the library saying that my husband forgot the diaper bag at the library.
Did I tell you what I got a phone call for?
Yes.
My son finally got tired of getting bullied and bullied the bully back and did a little fight club on the playground. And we're like, yeah, this is not acceptable, but at the same time, we're proud of him. I'm not saying that, but you gotta learn to stand up for yourself every once in a while, and I think we've taken it a little too extreme that we can't have a good throwdown on the playground.
Something always happens when one of the parents is gone.
Something, yeah.
Always happens.
At least he didn't get sick this year.
My father-in-law traveled a lot, like when my husband and his brothers were younger, and he would go to China or international, and every single time, one of the boys would do something, end up in the emergency room, someone would get sick. It would always happen when my father-in-law was out of town.
That used to be my husband, you know. I go to Greece, and he calls me, I'm hurt. I gotta have surgery. And I'm like, I was so pissed at him because he just got recovered from like another injury, and then he had to have his arm. And I'm like, and he was playing flag football. I just reached out. He said that's all that happened. I just reached out, and then my elbow bicep tore, and I'm like, just reached out. Just happened. But it did. But
yeah,
I'm in Greece trying to get home. Delayed flights. It was a disaster. Had to spend an extra night in Greece. He's got the baby. He can't barely hold the baby. So, yes. Things do happen.
We control what we can control.
So, Arthur tomorrow will be, going through the Verax training with me because he'll be home. Jason's like, I'm not letting him watch TV. I'm putting him to work. I'm like, exactly. It's not like 2 free days off.
Yeah.
But what was the most interesting presentation or information that in your mind from the week?
Well, I only got to, that's a really bad question for me.
That's a really bad question because it's not the meetings inside the rooms; it's meetings outside the rooms.
I don't know. You only get the oral presentations are only 12 minutes, 15 minutes long. It's just a small, brief snapshot of what's. I guess the one presentation that I thought the USDA professor, the guy that presented on soybean meal and gene expression and kind of relating it back to like how much soy is just used in processing of eggs and fish and different byproducts and whatnot, and how they're genotyping soybean meal to find the whatever part of soybean meal that expresses and causes allergies as like a soy allergy within humans. They're trying to
eliminate that protein, I think.
Either eliminate the protein or create a soybean meal version that will fit within the human feed world as a
feed world. Food world.
Food world.
Well, I mean,
to help those with soybean allergies or soy allergies. Soy allergens.
I think that's cool because someday,
I don't know, I did a really bad job explaining that, but that's what I grasped from the presentation.
If PETA keeps winning, someday it's tofu. So.
I mean, I asked my kids if they want feed. Sometimes it just comes out.
I have to remind myself when I work with pets, it's not pet feed, it's pet food. It's not feed, it's food. It means the same thing.
It just comes out that way.
But and it's also legally defined as food, and technically we're under the food laws, but yet we have a division that's feed, and I found out Casey's like a regulatory expert, and everybody needs Casey's help, and I'm like, yes, I can do this, but do I want to do this? We'll see.
I'm not. I just hear about our Canadian colleagues who are like, you have those products in the U.S. and we want them in Canada, but it takes 3 to 5 years to get anything.
Yeah, you think it's
anything
bad
into
here.
Canada.
Canada's worse. Yes, I mean, we are blessed a little bit, but we still have our own internal politics, and
yeah.
I was really happy because there's quite a few, Canadians here and different things.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little bit of a break from politics this week. I was like, whew. We're just being friends and, living our lives, and you get on social media or the news, it's like the world is ending. The stock market's crashing. And I got the feeling that we are all, regardless if we're looking for a job or not,
we're all in the same boat.
We're all in the same boat, but we're like, when you get together with people that have the same passion as you, just magic happens. And that's all I have to say about animal science meetings, because a lot of cool award winners. We can't go through the whole list and probably pronounce their names properly on some of them. I tried to get to as many awardee talks as I could because I wanted to show up for the graduate students, but I was not successful in that mission. So it was not because I didn't want to. I just couldn't make it happen.
What do you got going on in the coming weeks?
I'm coming to Minnesota to do a mixture of poultry training. So I get to do some live nutrition and necropsy work.
Interesting.
Interesting, yes. Casey teaching poultry nutrition. Yes. Spring break. A work spring break for me. And yeah, I heard you're going somewhere fun.
Yeah, we're going to Florida for spring break. We'll be driving 18 hours from Wisconsin to Florida.
Wow, with 3.
Pray for me.
Pray. I will be praying.
No, our kids are pretty good. We did like a 5-hour trip up north a couple weeks ago to kind of do like a little trial run. And
You gonna do a stop?
oh yeah, we're gonna break it up into 2 days. We're gonna spend the night in a hotel, take the kids swimming. They can burn off all their energy. Stop at some parks. I'll just pack all the snacks and maybe watch a couple movies. But I think we'll be okay.
And I think I'm going to be up north more in the next month than down south. My road trip next week. My road trip home and drop my son off, and then I'm work out of that area. And then Peak. So poultry meeting coming back to Peak.
Okay.
And I don't know where else I'm going. I got pet food forum, a couple pet events. Everybody wants me to go to Global Pet Summit in Orlando, which I think is about the same time you're taking a trip, the week of the 24th. But I said,
Yep.
It's spring break. I can't be in 3 places at once. And it's so nice. I have a team, and I'm like going, you mean I don't have to like sacrifice being able to see my family and my customers in the north to go bleed chickens? I'm like, yes. So I'm getting out of 2 Verax sessions. In the van. No traveling in the van.
Interesting. Yeah, I found out that the DPP is in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin this year. So I'm like, now I have to go.
That's in May. Party time. we think Midwest Animal Science is party time. That's when I get all my swine nutrition friends from around the world.
I've never been to that conference, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm like, now I have to go since it's 45 minutes from my house.
One of the best scientific meetings for pigs that I've ever been at.
Look, that's what I've heard. I'm looking forward to it.
Now, yes, I did go to Brisbane, Australia. It was a great venue. We're hoping Lake Geneva will be that too. It's going to be risky in May for perfect weather.
Oh, May should be okay.
Yes. But it could be windy, rainy, cold.
That's March.
You sure?
At least in Wisconsin. It's been 60 degrees with 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Okay, well. Like I said, I grew up in Michigan on the other side of the lake. And it could either be beautiful or not a nice time. But we're going to make the best of it.
We'll see.
It's about people. It's not about
inside.
It's not about the venue. It's about the people.
Yep.
So, yes, that's what we have going on. So, yes, I'll put our next live video together, like physically in person, and be at Lake Geneva.
Probably. Maybe in another hotel room.
So we'll be at Hilton. It'll be a different hotel. It'll be warm enough we can do it outside. I recorded it yesterday outside, and it was a little chilly. I'm like, I would have done like a 10-minute video with you, but it's cold. I'm going in.
I would, whenever, this is off topic, but whenever it's super sun, or even just, to sneeze, I look at the sun. And it was so sunny yesterday. Every single time I walked back and forth from the venue, back to the hotel, to take care of feeding my baby when I'm traveling, I had sneezed about 6 times on the skywalk because the sun was just shining in.
Yeah.
Every time I walked past, I had to sneeze about 6 times.
It was just chilly where we were sitting because it was shaded, but in the sun it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Can't complain. But hey, we gotta let this go.
It's breakfast time.
It's breakfast time for somebody, but I already ate my Pop-Tarts and my grapefruit, so we're good. Catch us live from somewhere else in the country.
In the Midwest.
In the future. Well, Midwest and World Pork, we got to come it up together this spring. So it's not that far in between.
No.
We're rolling.
Yep.
Hey, and shout out to Morgan for really stepping up. I did tell your boss, thank you for letting you be on the podcast. Ernie's pretty easygoing. He's like, yeah, okay.
I didn't even ask him.
I said, I really do appreciate it. We try not to steal her time too much, but
I mostly record during my lunch. I get my shit done.
No, I don't. But I still think Hubbard and Alltech. Another thing I wanted to point out before we go, the pin, World Without Cows. If you haven't watched that, watch that. I think it's extraordinary that Alltech funded that video and documentary, and I think everybody needs to watch it in ag or not. So I do want to thank Hubbard, Alltech, for allowing us to have an amazing co-host and friend.
Thanks.
And we really do appreciate it, and we love doing this kind of stuff. So we need to grow our tribe. So listen, and it warms my heart, all of you who have pointed out, I follow you, I'm listening, doing a great job. No matter what your statistics on social say, it's those that will keep driving our content and producing stuff. So,
till next time.
Till next time.